In 1945, Germany was rubble. Cities flattened. Industry dismantled. Currency worthless. Today, it is Europe's industrial backbone. Disciplined, wealthy, stable. But what if the very system that rebuilt Germany is now under strain? In 1945, Germany lay in ruins. Cities flattened, factories destroyed, currency worthless, millions displaced. Hunger and shortages dominated, leaving citizens facing unimaginable despair and total societal collapse. The previous economic system, rooted in militarization and authoritarianism, had failed completely. Trust vanished. Black markets thrived. Survival became the only daily objective for ordinary Germans. Reconstruction demanded more than bricks and steel. It required moral and institutional rebirth. Political decentralization and structural reforms were imposed to prevent repetition of past errors. The Allies dismantled war industries, forcing Germany to confront the collapse of its economic ideology. Discipline and credibility became the new currency for survival and growth. Prosperity could no longer be pursued recklessly. Germany learned a brutal lesson. Ambition without restraint leads to destruction, and rebuilding required patience, humility, and careful constraint. The nation's post-war path began quietly, under pressure and scrutiny. Stability, credibility, and economic foundations were rebuilt deliberately, setting the stage for a disciplined, modern industrial powerhouse. In 1948, the Reichsmark was replaced by the Deutsche Mark, restoring scarcity, eliminating excess currency, and giving money real value, reigniting trust among war-weary Germans. Prices were liberalized, controls reduced, and the black market evaporated almost overnight, signaling a profound shift from chaos toward a credible, structured economic order. This moment reflected Ordnungspolitik, the philosophy that markets succeed only with clear rules, limited interference, and disciplined governance, ensuring freedom existed within predictable structures. Ludwig Erhard championed the social market economy, balancing competition with social protection, creating a system where the state ordered markets without dominating production entirely. Discipline replaced chaos, savings regained purpose, cautious investment returned, monetary stability became sacred. Inflation transformed from inconvenience into an existential threat, demanding national attention and credibility. West Germany's recovery was built on institutional trust and financial integrity, embedding a lesson for decades. Growth follows stability, not speculation, and freedom requires structured rules. Germany's recovery was not laissez-faire. It was structured capitalism, blending competition with social insurance to protect workers while fostering productivity, trust, and disciplined economic growth across society. Strong unions negotiated wages within coordinated frameworks, ensuring labor stability, preventing strikes from disrupting industry, and aligning workers' interests with long-term industrial expansion and national reconstruction goals. Companies reinvested profits instead of chasing short-term gains, creating enduring capital, steady employment, and sustainable industrial development that prioritized precision, quality, and incremental innovation over rapid speculation. The Mittelstand, small and medium-sized firms, became the backbone of German industry, excelling in manufacturing, exporting specialized products, and cultivating reputations for engineering precision and reliability globally. Apprenticeship systems aligned education with industrial needs, producing skilled workers rather than surplus graduates, ensuring workforce depth, technical mastery, and generational continuity of craftsmanship and economic competence. Social safety nets provided stability without undermining discipline, creating cohesion during rapid industrial growth. The Wirtschaftswunder appeared miraculous externally, but was methodical, patient, and deeply structured internally. Post-war Germany internalized economic discipline as cultural identity, turning fiscal prudence into a moral principle and embedding fear of monetary instability from hyperinflation into national consciousness. Balanced budgets became ethical commitments, not mere policy choices, guiding government and industry toward stability, caution, and long-term reliability over reckless expansion or short-term ambition. Industrial policy avoided flamboyant state direction, relying on regulatory frameworks that encouraged competition, export strength, and methodical, Sustainable industrial growth anchored in accountability and institutional trust. European integration anchored stability further, with Germany joining the European Economic Community, expanding markets, reducing isolation, and embedding the country within multilateral structures that supported disciplined economic expansion. Manufacturing dominance deepened over decades, with automobiles, machinery, chemicals, and engineering becoming global symbols of reliability, precision, and the country's steadfast commitment to quality and incremental innovation. Wage moderation, social partnership, and rules-based governance prevented labor unrest, sustained competitiveness, and transformed Germany's economic DNA into a resilient system blending discipline, export reliance, and structured growth. In 1990, reunification tested Germany's disciplined economic DNA as a collapsed command economy merged abruptly with structured capitalism, exposing deep productivity gaps and institutional fragility. Extending the Deutsche Mark east restored monetary credibility, yet sharply increased costs, making Eastern industries uncompetitive and accelerating unemployment across former industrial strongholds. Massive fiscal transfers and solidarity taxes financed reconstruction, rebuilding infrastructure, modernizing cities, and stabilizing social systems. But integration unfolded unevenly across regions and generations. Entire sectors disappeared under competitive pressure, wage coordination strained, and fiscal discipline bent beneath reconstruction burdens that tested patience and political cohesion nationwide. Despite visible stress, Germany preserved its social market principles, prioritizing long-term convergence over rapid relief and maintaining institutional discipline during profound structural transformation. Reunification proved resilience, yet revealed limits, showing that even rule-based systems face strain when absorbing historic economic shocks and redistributing opportunity across divided societies. By the early 2000s, Germany had emerged as Europe's industrial engine, powered by labor reforms, wage restraint, and expanding export competitiveness across global markets. Exports surged toward emerging economies, particularly China, while manufacturing dominance deepened and trade surpluses became symbols of disciplined economic success. Beneath this strength, dependence quietly accumulated as growth leaned heavily on external demand, while domestic consumption and infrastructure modernization remained comparatively restrained. Energy imports, especially from Russia, lowered industrial costs, reinforcing competitiveness but embedding strategic vulnerability within Germany's export-driven economic architecture. During the global financial crisis, coordinated labor policies and industrial resilience softened impact, yet reliance on global trade cycles persisted structurally. The discipline that built export precision also created rigidity, leaving Germany efficient in stability but slower to adapt when external conditions shifted unpredictably. The 2020s confronted Germany with unprecedented pressure as pandemic disruptions, trade fractures, and the Russia-Ukraine war exposed vulnerabilities in its export-driven, energy-dependent industrial model. Industrial energy costs skyrocketed, inflation surged, and monetary discipline faced renewed scrutiny, challenging decades of carefully coordinated wages, export precision, and conservative fiscal policy. Global demand slowed while geopolitical fragmentation fractured markets, proving that Germany's previous formula of cheap energy, external reliance, and labor coordination could no longer guarantee resilience. Policymakers faced hard choices: uphold fiscal orthodoxy or intervene aggressively, balancing industrial support, social protection, and energy diversification without abandoning disciplined economic DNA. Industrial policy became more active, defense spending increased, and renewable energy initiatives accelerated, signaling strategic recalibration rather than reckless abandonment of past principles. Germany's model now faced mutation under systemic shock, testing whether incremental optimization could survive abrupt geopolitical transformations or risk calcification in an increasingly volatile global environment. Germany's future depends on recalibrating economic discipline while embracing flexibility, balancing manufacturing strength with digitalization, green transition, and energy investment to remain globally competitive and resilient. Demographic aging compresses labor supply, testing productivity gains, while strategic immigration and workforce policies become essential tools for sustaining industrial output and economic stability over decades. Fiscal restraint collides with infrastructure needs, requiring carefully coordinated investment, ensuring rule-based governance persists while enabling modernization of transport, energy, and digital systems across society. The social market economy must evolve, updating coordination mechanisms, integrating innovation with tradition, and maintaining institutional trust without compromising the stability that defines Germany's economic DNA. Success depends on absorbing pressure without breaking, adapting incrementally, and demonstrating that disciplined systems can evolve with strength rather than collapsing under sudden shocks or global volatility. This is the next chapter of Germany's story: adaptation, resilience, and disciplined evolution. And for more insights into global economic DNA, subscribe now to follow every analysis.